Tonight on a Nation Sports Show, we continue our coverage of the NFL's offseason. Some more signings and trades have taken place. Some of the notable signings that have taken place in the last week include Cincinnati paying Joe Burrow's top two wide receivers big-time contracts, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Tonight, and for the next couple of weeks, we bring to you topic-driven themes for the show. Up first, our fantasy team of professional wrestlers on offense and defense. Next week, we bring to you our top 5 games of the 2024 NFL season. It's showtime.
Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up.
Good up to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
It's 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. It is our Nation Sports Show, live here on the World Wide Web, live here on YouTube.com. And for now, I am riding solo right now as I am waiting on my co-host Joey Thornton to join me here tonight. What is going on, everybody? I am Stephen Wyand. Thank you for joining me right now as I ride this show solo, steering the captain chair for tonight as Ezra is unavailable for tonight. He is out and about with his family having dinner time. And dinner time is family time, and that's always a great time. Great time. And thank you for joining us here tonight for another great edition of the Sports Show. And as Ezra said last week on the show, we were going to be having some fun, theme-driven shows for the next couple of weeks. Tonight, we give our fantasy team, that's right, our fantasy football team of professional wrestlers on offense and defense. That should be a lot of fun to see what everybody's lists are, and that'll be a lot of fun tonight. Also, we'll continue covering the NFL offseason, as there is a lot going on right now in the National Football League with more signings. And ladies and gentlemen, better early than now. Unlike LeBron, this guy actually shows up on time. The man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. My brother from another mother, JT, Joey Thornton. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It feels great to be back in the co-host chair this week. After having to miss last week due to something I had coming up or going on. But I'm here. I'm ready to talk some sports because I got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it, baby.
And before we get into it, up first, we got to plug the social media platforms. Up first on Twitter or X at @ON_Sports Show. Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, where we are live right now. YouTube.com/Nation Sports Show. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to all your family and your friends that love the world of sports just as much as we do. And not just to be covering the NFL's offseason, but tonight, yes, tonight, the greatest tournament in sports history returns. It's a madhouse. March Madness returns tonight with the first 4 all the way to the final 4 in April. We will be covering this great sports tournament. This is when the games matter. All the chips are on the table. It's time for Cinderella to go to the ball, baby. It is going to be an incredible tournament, as always. We don't know what the hell's going to happen, but one thing we do know for a fact, Joey, brackets will be busted.
I guarantee you about 3/4 of the brackets submitted right now will be busted by the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
so
can guarantee it.
we're gonna get into that tonight, as well as, like I said before you joined, and Ezra brought up a great idea last week on the show. Now we did some switching around, in the last couple of days. What better now with the NFL draft a month away? We are going to be doing tonight a fun-driven first of two themes. We are doing our fantasy football team of professional wrestlers, 5 players on offense, 5 players on defense. It doesn't have to be strictly for WWE, but if you want to do all WWE, that's all fine and dandy, because after all, it's RASSLIN, that's wrestling. It could be anybody from AEW, it could be anybody from TNA, it can be anybody you want on your team. It could be anybody. Anybody. And then next week, we're doing our top 5 games of the 2024-25 NFL season. And there were some great games, and despite of a lot of mediocrity on Thursday night football, some Sunday night football games, and a lot of Monday night games, but there were some great hidden gems during the regular season this past September into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl. And before we get to all of that, I do want to talk about what started today. It is technically the unofficial start of the Major League Baseball season. And this was a problem with us last year, and I'm pretty sure for all of us, it's going to be another major problem again this year. Now, full disclosure, I do not mind the baseball season starting in Tokyo, Japan. That's not the problem. The problem is you had the Dodgers versus the Chicago Cubs on not the official start of the baseball campaign. I have a huge problem with that. I don't mind the start time because you can't help it that, Japan's time is 14 hours ahead of us. So that's understandable. 12, 14 hours ahead of us. But what you can help is you can put this game as the official kickoff for the 25 regular season next Thursday at 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Mountain Time, you name it. Anytime Pacific you can think of. 5 o'clock Central as well. We'll throw that one in there as well. Can't forget about the Central time zone people. But Joey, we talked about this last year, how this was a huge problem with us. How this is why baseball needs to have things reconfigured with how they start their seasons.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I have nothing at all against starting the baseball season in Tokyo, Japan. I have nothing against that whatsoever because nowadays we're seeing not only, of course, WWE, Major League Baseball, NBA, and now, of course, the NFL. We're seeing a whole bunch of international games slash series popping up on people's schedules. And it is a great time for international fans to really showcase their fan momentum, if that makes sense.
It does make sense because everybody globally watches sports basically, no matter what it is, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, you name it. And international crowds tend to show more passion when it comes to the game. Or like yesterday with professional wrestling, because WWE is starting their international tour as of last week with SmackDown in Spain, and they were in Belgium last night for Raw, globally, worldwide, live. For the first time, an international show of a major televised show for WWE was live. And when you look at these international crowds, like in Japan and Switzerland and Brazil and England and you name it, Scotland, these international crowds for sports, they show up and they show out. And Japan this morning on the East Coast, Central Time Zone, Mountain Time, Pacific, that got up and watched this game, they witnessed the Japanese fan base loving the sport. Because I think sometimes, Joey, I think U.S. fans take their sports for granted. I really believe that. I think that us US fans, we take our entertainment for granted because we know that we get shows every year essentially. And the fact that everywhere you look when these international games have been played, these crowds, they show up to these stadiums and to these ballparks and they make a hell of a lot of noise.
Oh yeah, oh, they definitely do.
And I think it's time,
Absolutely.
I think it's time for us US crowds to step our game up.
Yeah, I think it is because I mean, and I mean, and I know that we're not a wrestling show. I understand that, but I have got to talk about that episode of Monday Night Raw
And
yesterday
we'll,
afternoon
and
here at
we'll
3 o'clock in the US on Netflix.
we'll
I
get into
mean,
that tonight.
that crowd in Brussels, Belgium was absolutely outstanding.
It's one of the best crowds I've ever heard in my life, and we'll get into that later on in the show.
But
And
yeah, I mean, you're right though. I mean, this really gives everybody globally a chance to come to the games in person to see some of their favorite superstars because nowadays we're seeing a whole bunch of players coming from Japan to play in the majors. I mean, of course, you got the ace himself, Shohei Ohtani. You got Shota Imanaga, who's going to be pitching for the Cubs this year. You got a bunch of other Japanese players or players in general that have a little bit of international descent that's going to be playing this year. So, I mean, I'm liking this. I really am.
me too. Me too. It is a lot of fun to see these fans show up and show out when for instance like when Shohei Ohtani comes out there on the field. Like everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows who Kike Hernandez is. Everybody knows these star players. And that's the one thing about this Dodger team that is scary is even though they didn't have some of their starters like Mookie Betts wasn't there, this team is still dangerous. Their bullpen is lethal.
Oh yeah, the Dodgers, they are absolutely crazy. They have one of the most stacked rosters I have ever seen for a Major League Baseball team. But I do have some concerns though, because one, definitely health, because a lot of those players are a year older now, which means Father Time is starting to catch up to them. And Shohei Ohtani, even though he was able to hit the ball last year, he didn't pitch because of him having to get a Tommy John surgery.
Real,
So,
real quick, what's going on, William? William Gyron's here in the chat, and William here agrees with us that he does not have a problem with international games being played. It's just starting, around, close to the times as the other games. Like, okay, it's one thing to start to start that game. Like, if they would have played that same game between the Cubs and the Dodgers next Thursday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is not a problem with me because that is still the official day of the MLB season kicking off. And everybody else would have played afterwards. That would have been like a nice appetizer. You watch the opener game in Japan, and then everybody else plays the rest of the way. It's like a full course of games. Well, 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 well. Well,
Oh my goodness. Look who decided to join us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The one and
unannounced.
only 49er faithful, Kevin Rory. What's going on, man?
What is up, my brother?
What's going on, fellas? Yeah, I decided to hop on here for a little bit, and I just want to let the world know that I'm safe from the 49ers releasing me. I was not released by the 49ers, but I decided to hop on here for a little bit and talk some
Oh,
sports with you
funny,
fellas.
funny. I thought you were gonna say that you were saved from Jerry Jones having a break or having to rip up his checkbook.
Oh yeah. I'm safe from having Dak Prescott as my quarterback.
Okay, here we go. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Where do we even begin? I guess it's time for us to pivot, if you will. Here's that P word. Not playoffs, pivot. Well, with that being
All right,
said,
come on, dude. That was enough 3 minutes of fame right there. All right.
wait. Did you just say 3 minutes?
Yes, I did say 3 minutes.
Anyways, well, where do we even begin? Since Kevin decided to show up, I know he's got a lot of thoughts because I know myself and Joey included have been reading Kevin's post on Facebook because I understand it, Kevin. You are one pissed off 49ers fan of all the ridiculousness, the wackiness that organization has been displaying in the last several weeks.
Well, at first I was, but as far as when I started digging deeper and deeper into it, I get what they're trying to do. Now, will it work? I do not know. They're trying to pull a Buffalo. Oh yeah, they're trying Buffalo Bills is what I'm saying. And what I mean by that is, look what the Bills did last offseason. They traded Stephon Diggs. They cut literally their entire defense, went in the draft, scouted a bunch of guys, got a lot of day one contributors, and made it work. The 49ers are trying to do that because of the bad contract. And I think what is happening here is Jed York and Parag, they're sick of this shit. They're sick of, and not necessarily John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan themselves, because they've outdid themselves when it comes to drafting superstars and like coaching. They're sick of the money they're being spent. And what I mean by that is some of these bad contracts, like Debo Samuel, for existence. Like, I mean, he's good. I honestly like the trade with Debo because even in Madden, I would look at it as like, yeah, I'm trading him, obviously, because he's in the final year of his contract. He's got a lot of money left, and I'm not paying a wide receiver 25 million that is just come off his worst season and really has been overweight. And to be honest, he really doesn't fit the 49ers offense anymore. When I look into it from a analytical perspective, like let's keep it what like Jacob Fatu says, let's keep it up here. And what I mean by that is Debo Samuel, let's call a spade a spade. He was a crutch for Jimmy G. He was a guy who, oh, we're just going to throw screen passes and run the ball, and he's the secondary guy, and he can run the ball and do all this crap behind the line of scrimmage. Now the 49ers have a quarterback who can expand the field and throw out routes and throw deep down the field, and Debo cannot run a route deep down the field. So what's happening is he's just being basically fiddled out the offense. And what other teams are doing are literally playing man coverage against the 49ers. And Debo is, let me read you a statistic. Debo is ranked 102 against man coverage out of all eligible wide receivers in the NFL, including tight ends, running backs, and wide receivers. Not good. Not good at all. Honestly, I think the Lions left tackle has a higher beaten man percentage than Debo Samuel. What, Decker or what's the one that caught the touchdown for the Lions? He has a better off man coverage percentage than Deebo Samuel. So I get that point. I definitely get that. Now, all these guys that the 49ers are picking up, I do get it. I'm on board with it because like I said on Facebook, this dumbass fan base ain't gonna like it because it ain't a Gucci bag, but instead it's Michael Kors. I'm fine with that. The reason why I say that, what was the 49ers' weakness last year? Special teams. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Special
their
teams.
special teams was really bad.
They got them beating the Super Bowl in special teams. And last year they were god awful. They muffed punts, they missed kicks, they damn got literally gave up the first ever kickoff return touchdown of the new kickoff rules last year. And they were giving up chunk after chunk after chunk and muffing punts. And so the 49ers just went off other teams, like other teams' players, and got a bunch of specialists for special teams. Like the guy from Miami they just signed today. He actually made the Pro Bowl a couple years ago on special teams because he can tackle. That's the 49ers are trying to get that right first. So get it. The one loss that really stings me right in my ass cheeks is literally the loss of Dre Greenlaw. It honestly crushed me as a 49er fan because it brought me back to a time in 2014 when Patrick Willis retired and Willis and Bowman had split. That it brought back those similar feels because let's keep it real that Fred Warner and Navar and Dre Greenlaw were the best linebacker doing football. I don't care how many guys about it. Statistically, that they went together like peanut butter and jelly. Fred Warner was the brains and the leader and the coverage guy and the skills with all the agility, and Dre Greenlaw was the tone setter. He's gonna smack you in your face and fill the hole against the run. Them two together, even last year, the 49ers defense under that god awful Nick Sorensen sucked all year. But if you noticed, and I know it was raining, it was a very small sample size. When Dre Greenlaw came back against the Rams, they started to look like the 49ers defense. They were hitting, flying around. They were setting the tone. They were making plays. And then he gets hurt again, and the 49ers defense the very next week goes back to what it was. And that's the Dre Greenlaw effect. That's the one guy that really hurt. Everybody else, I believe the 49ers were prepared to let walk, including Charvarius Ward, obviously, with the trauma he's felt with losing his little girl. He definitely needed to go. And nothing against the organization, but he just wants a fresh start, obviously, for the trauma he went through. So I
Right.
understood that.
Right.
I understood Hufanga. They got Malik Mustafa in the draft last year, who looks like a bona fide thud out there hitting people.
Sure.
So got that. Aaron Banks might be a little questionable, but in Kyle Shanahan's offense, a left guard is interchangeable. They can draft one in the 4th round and be just as good. And like I said, the Debo thing, I get it. I don't get paying $20 million to a backup tight end though. That's where I'm like, hold up.
Yeah, that's where I was like, wait, what? You're
I
paying a
understand
backup
why-
tight end that much money?
Here's where I'm interested at. I don't understand the money, but I understand the position. Tight end 2 in a Shanahan offense is very important. The reason why, if you ain't got a good one that can block, you know what's going to happen? What happened against the Philadelphia Eagles in the championship game? Brock Purdy got hurt. Why? Because the tight end 2 didn't make a tackle. The tight end 2, they want one on the field so they can block, so Kittle can get out and be a receiver instead of having to block all the time. So I get the concept, but paying them $20 million, I'm like, I don't know about that, dude. I don't know that about that at all. And as far as the Jordan Mason trade goes to Minnesota, I'm okay with that, obviously. I honestly really am because Jordan Mason is good, but let's keep it real. Jordan Mason is a Marshawn Lynch / Derrick Henry type runner. This Shanahan offense is about agility at running back. You got to be able to catch the ball. You got to be able to make moves. Jordan Mason is a downhill I formation running back. He's not a catch the ball out the backfield. Jordan Mason had one catch all year, like literally like 1 or 2 catches all year. Isaac Garendo in like 2 games had like 8, 9 catches. He's twice as explosive. He ran a 4.3 in the 40. I mean, he's promising rookie, and the 49ers got their eyes set on Cam Scatterbo from Arizona State as another running back in this year's draft. Let me remind you why I say the draft is important. The 49ers have like 10 picks through the first 5 rounds. If you can draft 5 or 6 guys that are like day one contributors, they got a chance to be what Buffalo did, or like the Rams of 2 years ago. Reset your defense, get some fresh guys in, because I don't think this is a rebuild. I think more of a major retool. And why I say that is, even with all the guys that got let go, you can't sit there and tell me that this roster still isn't a at least middle of the pack roster. You still have Fred Warner. You still have Christian McCaffrey. You still have Trent Williams. You still have Brock Purdy. You still have Brandon Ayuk coming back healthy. You still got Nick Bosa. You got some young stars like Diamador Lenore. This is still better than the damn Panthers roster. Still better
Yes.
than the Patriots, the Giants.
This is still better than the Falcons.
Exactly. It's still honestly top tier. Maybe not where they were with Philadelphia last year or the year before, but they might have slid down, but they're still dangling in that top 10 to 15 roster because they've got cornerstones like Fred Warner in there. So as questionable it is, I just want to see the draft before I start really
Right.
criticizing them.
Yeah,
That's
see,
why.
yeah, Kevin, I do want to say real quick, based upon what I saw from this player in college, if y'all can find a way to land this guy as well, and yes, I'm talking about Jahad Campbell, the linebacker from Alabama,
That's my pick. In my
that
mock draft, Joey,
that would be a key
I'm
player for
telling
you
you,
guys.
that was
I mean,
actually
he
my
can make the
pick.
49er faithful forget about Drake Greenlaw because he's just that hard of a hitter.
That's exactly my pick. When I did my mock draft yesterday on PFF, that was my pick. At number 11 was Jahad Campbell because of the fact that even as Fred is blitzing, they said Campbell can blitz better than anybody in the league, and that
Oh,
was
he can. He can. I saw him do it
and
firsthand.
another guy like that I don't think is on the board, but I would actually take a look at is Jalon Walker too from Georgia because
Yeah.
he can play off ball, and we can use him like how y'all use Frankie Louvu. He can play off the ball, and then when it's time to rush, he can get down there and rush as a defensive end. So
Yeah, he could.
one of them two, or Kenneth Grant from Michigan, defensive tackle. That's my top 3 picks for the 11th pick in the class. To be honest,
And you brought up Philadelphia, Kevin, and that is the thing that we talked about last week when this started. And Philadelphia continues to lose key defensive players on that Super Bowl team from this past season. And yeah, they lost another one today. Graham has announced his retirement.
yep.
Which honestly, I wish him the best of luck because he's been the part. He was part of the Philadelphia faithful ever since he got drafted 15 years ago. So I wish him the best of luck.
And that also begs the question too, because as we know in the NFL, there's a lot of parity that happens even with a team that mainly wins the Super Bowl. Because 90% of the time, pretty much the team that wins the championship doesn't get back to the Super Bowl.
Yep. That's true.
And
But
That
yeah,
is true.
Philly's defense has been taking huge hits these last couple of weeks.
I
And
will say Howie Rowe a good job. Like I was just saying about the 49ers, can they do like Buffalo? The Eagles are another one like Buffalo. Like they prepare for losses. Like last year, they knew they were going to cut Darius Slay. They knew they were going to be thin at corner. So they go draft 2 very good Pro Bowl caliber corners in Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. And guess what? Don't miss them at all. Just like draft defensive tackles. They prepare for this. That's just what the Eagles. That's what they do. I mean, and
Yeah,
that's just good business.
yeah, that's a very solid point because when you look back at the stats from last year, Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell, they were 2 of the best corners out there on
Yep,
several occasions.
yep. Because they just knew Darius Slay was going to get old, and it would save them money in their long term best interest. And that same money they saved was able to bring back Braun, uh, Pro Bowl middle linebacker, had the best year of his life last year. I don't know if he can repeat that
Mm-hmm.
this year, but we'll see. But they was able to re-sign him. I mean, yeah, you got a lot of people on the offensive line that needs to get paid. Obviously, that's the best offensive line in football. So all them big hogs need to get money. So they go the cheaper route, which is draft well, develop them guys behind them veterans like Darius Slay, and then let them loose the next year. That's what they did with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Basically, they sat them behind Brandon Graham, and then when they realized Graham's getting older, and guess what? Them guys were able to just step up and fill in the gaps.
mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. And that's what makes a good team.
That's what the Cowboys need to learn, but they can't seem to do that. They just I don't know if you guys talked about this on the show last week, but did y'all happen to catch Micah Parsons beefing with DeMarcus Lawrence on Twitter?
No, we missed that. Thank you for
No,
bringing
we
that
did
up.
not. Well, I wasn't on the show
We
last
missed
week.
that. Thank you very much. Yep, for bringing that up. Go ahead.
Micah Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence did an interview talking about, man, I want to go somewhere to win. And I know Seattle might not be ready to win right now. They might actually be in a complete rebuild. But I know where I was in Dallas. I would never win a Super Bowl there. And then Micah come on there and retweeted it talking about, yeah, well, that's some clown shit, bro. Yeah, yada, yada. Then Micah says, see, or DeMarcus Lawrence says, see, that's your problem. If you would spend less time tweeting and open your damn mouth and more time winning, I might would have stayed. I said, wow, well.
Damn.
Well,
Some clown shit. Get the hell out of here. Like, come on, man. Like, Micah Parsons blinded by his own GM / owners propaganda bullshit. I mean, the fact that this Cowboys team yet again, we're already 2 weeks into another offseason. They ain't done a damn thing to improve that team. Give me a break. Give me a freaking break. Speaking of paying money, Jesus, good Lord. Cincinnati has paid two of Joe Burrow's big-time weapons, big-time money. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
and I might be on the outside of this, guys, but I don't like that move. I like Chase, but this is what an 8-year-old does when they're on Madden and they're trying to build a team. They just sign receivers and quarterbacks like, yeah, fuck it. You know what? There was a meme that popped up that said the Bengals are going to be the first team in NFL history with the 33rd ranked defense because they ain't going to be able to pay nobody. You got a player of the year candidate. They're shopping in Trey Hendrickson because they can't afford him. Sam Hubbard retired, so now what do you got? You really ain't got a bunch of jack over there.
See, and here's the thing too, Kevin. You alluded to it, and you made a great point. Their defense last year was so bad in key, components of the season. I mean, during key, stretches of the season, their defense let that team down in close games.
Joe Burrow threw for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Ravens and still lost.
Yep.
The final of these games are going to be like NBA games, 97-94, Ravens over the Bengals.
Yeah.
And
and not to mention, even though it was way early in the season, that Cincinnati Bengals defense made Jaden Daniels look like Tom Brady on Monday Night Football.
Little did we know that was a prequel to what was to come.
Well, the defense is horrible, man. And the way I'm at it is, man, why T. Higgins is worth some money. They could have gotten so much for him just off a trade that they could have got a early pick to draft another receiver. And the way I look at it is when you got a quarterback as good as Joe Cool and Joe Burrow back there, it don't matter who you plug in at receiver. Isn't that what the Chiefs do? Don't fucking matter who's at receiver. We got 15 back there, and they've got 3 championships off of doing that bullshit. Like,
Drew Brees for years had receivers that weren't great, and he still made receivers look great. Peyton Manning had no-name receivers, made him look great. Tom Brady, yes, Randy, Gyron, Sir, Thomas, Edward, Patrick Brady made other players that were non-great, that looked like a bunch of jabronis out there on the field. But when Tom Brady went out there, wham, touchdown, kaboom.
Hey, that's just what happens. That's why I don't understand why the Bengals GM didn't just go get some young receiver and ship T. Higgins off. Because, I mean, if you go, say you trade T. Higgins, say, to the Steelers, or not even the Steelers, let's say, the Raiders need a receiver. Guess what? They could have got the 8th pick in the draft. Guess what you can get with the 8th pick in the draft? McMillan from Arizona State. That just ran a 4.4 receiver in the class. Guess what? Could have been a Cincinnati Bengal on a rookie deal. And guess what? No. Defensive player. The Chiefs' logic is to get decent receivers, but not overpay, and then pay defensive guys that can step up like Chris Jones. Went 2 back-to-back Super Bowls off of that shit and went to 3 straight off of the shit, just off of doing that. So trying to pay all these guys, I don't know. I don't really like it. They're gonna have to get off of somebody's contract, and honestly, it needs to be T. Higgins because Jamar Chase is him. He is that guy. Him and Joe Burrow's got chemistry more than him and T. Higgins just because of when they played at LSU.
And they won that championship. Yep.
They should have just let T. Higgins walk, man. Worst case.
Yeah, because now that you're paying 2 players over $100 million, per contract. There was like 169 for Chase and 112 or 115 for Higgins, and the first 2 years are guaranteed.
It's 161 for Chase with 112 guaranteed,
Yep.
and then 115 for T. Higgins with 4 years guaranteed.
Yep. I mean, and when you think about it, you're resetting the receiver market yet again. And I understand why they would pay Jamar Chase that type of money because of his resume, what he has done in his first 5 years as a pro. He led the NFL last year in all three categories, triple crown: catches, receiving yards, touchdowns.
Yep.
That's why you pay him the big money. T. Higgins, he's good, but he's not Jamar Chase good.
And honestly, the Bengals fucked this up too by waiting this long because you could have had Jamar locked up before Jefferson and CD Lamb got deals. By you waiting, the market just went up and up and up and up and got higher and higher and higher. It's almost like a Jerry Jones type move.
Yeah, let's pay Dak Prescott right when the season's about to start. Let's pay CD Lamb that money right before a game. Like, come on. Come
Now,
on, man.
that deal really pissed me off because he fucked the whole quarterback market up. I mean,
And see, and what was the first thing that Jerry Jones did in this offseason? Restructured Dak's and CD's contracts. So now they're making less money.
yeah, but in 4 years from now, Dak is scheduled to make $85 million in that 1 year. So they're just kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, for real.
And the reason why I say Dak really fucked the quarterback market up because, like Cam Newton said in his podcast, like, okay, Brock Purdy, like going into this specifically for him because it's a contract year, he's about to get paid. They was like, what is he worth? Cam is like, realistically, he should get 45, 50. And I agree with that on a realistic thing. There should be nobody making over 50 except Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Lamar. That's it.
And we touched on Allen's massive contract last week.
By Dak Prescott making 60, and then Cam Newton was going through the list like, all right, tell me who would you take? Brock Purdy versus these guys that are making 50. Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence. Everybody's like, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Tua, Brock Purdy, Dak, Brock Purdy. Okay, then. So the market says he needs 60 million, but realistically, he should make 45 to 50. But he's fucked the market up so much, him and Trevor Lawrence, it's ridiculous. And that's why I like Josh Allen. That really helps the deal because Allen only took 55, which is crazy in that extension he got. He's taking 55 and took a deal to help the team, knowing damn well he should got 70 if Dak is making 60.
Mm-hmm.
But
And Micah Parsons, you alluded to him too, Kevin. He wants to get paid too. There ain't no way in God's green earth that you can pay three players that kind of money and
because
expect them to keep them.
And I don't know if you guys talked about this, but they just signed the wrong defensive player. They signed their fucking D tackle to an $80 million extension. A guy who got 2.5 sacks last year. What the fuck are you doing, Jerry?
Who?
What's his name? Something starts with an O. They're starting D tackle.
It doesn't matter what his last name is. Who?
Yeah, that's it. The $80 million for what?
Yeah, 4 years, $80 million.
And he had like 3.5 sacks total.
What's his name again, Joey?
Osa Odijizua, I think it is.
It doesn't matter what his last name is. Getting paid that kind of money. He's not worth the money he's being thrown.
Jerry Jones is sitting there, and I'm going to rephrase the words of John Cena. Jerry Jones is sitting there. What do we get? What do we get? You get nothing from this signing. You get what you earn, and you get nothing. In the words of John Cena. Don't blame me. Just he's the one that said it. That is Jerry Jones. You get nothing. No championships.
I swear. I thought Cena was gonna say yesterday, what do we get? What do we get? You get nothing, you lose. Good taste, sir. But back to Jerry Jones and his pathetic Cowboys. Like, this is ridiculous. And now you got Michael Parsons probably gonna be like, can you pay me $90 million? Like, come on, man.
Man, bullshit. He ain't worth it.
You can't pay 4 players that kind of money. Come on, man. Come on.
Somebody was clowning Micah because he was in Twitter laughing about the 49ers losing all the players, talking about, and everybody's like, damn, the 49ers gutted themselves. They're about to pay their quarterback. He tweeted talking about LOL. That's what happens when you don't have a rookie quarterback no more. Ha ha ha. Real world, real boy, real man world. And somebody retweeted him talking about, ain't you 0-3 against the 49ers? Oh, I thought so. I'm like, damn. It's like real man world is get a win on the football field before you start talking. And Michael Irvin even said, he was like, Micah, I get your point, but shut the hell up. You get on the field and you get manslaughtered by the same damn team every year. It's like you don't got room to be tweeting out nothing.
Speaking of contracts, and I said 90 million, a nice, nice little segue right there. Derek Stingley getting resetting the defensive back market, getting paid $90 million.
Wait,
He's
who was
some
that?
greedy motherfuckers.
Stingley.
Oh, yeah. Derek Stingley from the Houston Texans. Yeah.
I,
Getting paid that kind of money.
That's a
Crazy.
disgrace. You're a corner. Literally one of the, I'm not saying, like, I ain't calling him pathetic, but one of the least valuable positions on the field is corner. And 30 million a year is absolutely ridiculous. And unless your name is Patrick Surtain. If your name is not Patrick Surtain, you shouldn't make over 20. And then you got Carolina's dumb ass throwing out money. David Tepper says, fuck it, I'm going to give J.C. Horn and treat him like he's Darrell Revis. He's mid. He is mid, and you're paying him like he's Darrell Revis. While Patrick Surtain, this is why I think the Broncos were one of the biggest winners in free agency. Let me just say that. Because obviously they signed my boy Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw, but they signed Surtain to his extension a year and a half ago when the market wasn't blown up. And made him the highest paid corner in the league history. He's only making like 23 a year. So now his deal to these damn jabronis deals make it look like, damn, he got a discount. So Surtain really got they literally got off the hook by paying Surtain early, because if they're making 30 again, just like the quarterback, Surtain should make 40 just because he's that damn good. He was in the finalists for Defensive Player of the Year as a
Mm-hmm.
Derek Stingley, this jabroni was getting burnt about half the season last year. J.C. Horn, hell, he spends more time at the Charlotte hospital than he does in the damn on the football field because he's hurt every other damn game.
He's like Anthony Davis to the NBA.
He's made of glass. He's made of glass.
um, switching again here in the NFL, the clock is still on the watch for one Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Where will he play next season, or will he play? Will he go to the Steelers? Will he go to the Vikings and complete the Brett Favre cycle?
Steven, have you seen Cameron Hayward's comments regards to Aaron Rodgers
Yes,
holding
I
out with
have.
the Steelers?
Yes, I have.
Oh my God. He was like, I am so fed up. I am so pissed off. He needs to make up his mind. If he wants to come to us, great. If not, then hurry up and make your decision. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I do not blame him for doing that, because at the Raw, Aaron Rodgers is doing this on his own time, his own ways, and I don't care where he goes. But the bottom line is, Aaron Rodgers can go play with the Steelers. He can go play with the freaking Vikings and complete the Brett Favre cycle. He can go play with the New York Giants. It doesn't matter where he plays.
But
He's
see,
not going to be
here's
great.
one thing. See, here's one thing that I don't understand about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I get it. You can't. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the right word here. You can't degrade the guy based upon the stats that he's put up
Absolutely.
over his extensive NFL career. But like I mentioned earlier, he's going to be, I mean, he is 41 years old, going to be 42 during the NFL season, might I add, which means Father Time is catching up to him. So I get the fact that these teams such as the Titans, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Giants, I get the fact that they're all interested in Aaron Rodgers. But one thing they don't realize It's the fact that Aaron Rodgers is not a long-term answer anymore. So it doesn't matter if they sign Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. Neither one of those quarterbacks are long-term answers anymore. So that's why they still need to go out and get somebody in the draft, or maybe even get a quarterback that's still wandering around free agency. Because quite honestly, the only quarterback that Pittsburgh has under contract right now is Mason Rudolph.
Oh dear God, he's
Oh,
having a back
dear
of the
God.
here,
Who the
back of
hell
the
is
head.
that? That is literally the only quarterback that Pittsburgh has under contract right now, and that's for 2 years. Mason Rudolph.
And we
And
don't even know where Russell Wilson's going to land next year. We have no clue
No.
where he's landing.
don't forget though, the Giants have no quarterback under contract, meaning that's the best that quarterback's room
Well, I
has
mean,
looked in the last 10 years.
Well, they got
they
Tommy
have Tommy
DeVito, but Tommy.
Yep. But before they re-signed him, they had nobody. Like a month ago, someone said that's the best
true.
quarterback room they've had in the last 10 years. Is nobody.
Wait, hold up. Where did our favorite precious Cougar Hunter go again this year?
Miami.
He went to
Miami. Thank you. Okay.
He going to South Beach to look at the moms on the beach.
yeah.
Hell with this.
Yeah, he's gonna check out the nude beaches that's down there.
I mean,
The beaches of Miami. Not the beaches of Cheyenne.
oh dear.
Garth Brooks reference.
I,
Bite me. Anyways, so as far as the quarterback market is concerned, like we don't know. We don't know where Russell Wilson's going to end up next year. We don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going to end up next year. These guys could end up anywhere. I mean, because I think once Rodgers makes a move, I think Wilson will make a move, or Wilson will make a move and then Rodgers will make a move. It's vice versa. Flip a coin.
yep. They're just playing chess. They're playing chess with each other. I don't know. I just don't think, me personally, teams can really depend. I think, and Rogers knows that. I think teams really can't depend on quarterbacks for the draft because, to be fair, I'm not sold on this quarterback class. I believe I was
No.
in the chat.
I'm not either. This is
Cam Ward's
definitely
got
a
a
step
chance,
down
but
from the quarterback class from last year.
this might be a quarterback class like it was in 2021 with Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance. Like, yeah, no, it might be that kind of class, and I think Cam Ward has a chance, but I believe Shadur, a lot of that is because of his daddy. I don't think I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope so because I like Prime. I love Coach Prime, but I don't think Shadur is as hyped up as he seems to be as well.
Right.
No.
Like if I'm the Titans, this is how bad it is. I would look over quarterback. I would just say, "Fuck it, let's put that clown, Levis in there again this year and suck again." I would rather go get Abdul Carter, get a premier defensive end or premier Travis Hunter, somebody that's a premier guy. I would not.
I think Hunter's going number one.
I in my mock, I had Hunter going to the Giants at number 3. I think they say fuck the quarterback. He goes to the Giants. I got Shadur going 2 to Cleveland because they're going to be desperate again. And
And they gotta please Myles Garrett with that big fat contract that he got with Cleveland.
Yes, that is true.
Now, switching gears a little bit here to what is to come tonight. And before we get to that, Kevin, I know you were paying attention to this game over the weekend. The Duke Blue Devils, for a second consecutive time this year, beat the North Carolina Tar Heels in the most North Carolina ways of losing a fucking game. You had a golden opportunity to come from behind and win the game, and you blew it.
All because of a lane violation.
let me tell you how much of a sucker that was. It wasn't even going into the lane. He backed out of the lane. He didn't step forward. He stepped backwards.
it
Armando
up.
Bangkok, one of Carolina's oldest 20-year seniors I've ever seen. Like, remember the reference The Rock hit the Booker T with, like, the oldest 27 years old senior in high school or whatever? That's the
Yeah.
same thing about Bangkok. He spent like 27 years at UNC. He tweeted out talking about the Duke player pushed him into the lane. First of all, he didn't push him nowhere because he stepped back. How can you push somebody forward when he's going backwards? Second of all, that was hilarious. Third of all, actually, you're wrong, Steven. That wasn't the second consecutive time. That was the third straight time they beat them. They done swept them in the regular season, blew their asses out double digits both games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without Cooper Flag, without the premier
Without
guy.
their star player, with the injury. Like,
That's tough.
crazy.
That's tough. What kills me though is this is what grinds my gears. I ain't gonna spend too much time on it. I know y'all want to talk about other stuff, but the selection committee. How in the fuck do you get Carolina into this tournament? I mean, damn, they can't even single damn ranked team. They are 1-14 against the quad one teams. You got other teams like West Virginia couldn't even make it. They are 4-8 or 4-9 against those same teams. So by
Texas, and Indiana.
Texas, Indiana. So Carolina beats nobody. They get in. Oh, I understand why that is. It's because their athletic director at UNC is on the selection committee.
Oh, no. He's not just on the selection committee. He's over the selection committee.
Yep. That needs to be investigated.
Oh, and get this. There was a tweet that was going around the other day after Carolina was picked to be in the tournament in the first four. They were saying that the athletic director, I think his name is Grant Cunningham.
Yep, Cunningham. Yep.
He got a whole advanced month salary just for Carolina getting in the tournament.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that sounded like he went into business.
I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
You got your asses beat 3 times this year by Duke.
I was praying they would be in Duke's bracket and make it to them and let Duke whoop their ass for a fourth one because that's what would happen.
I get the fact that West Virginia, Texas, and Indiana are so pissed off. I mean, all 3 of those schools were so pissed off, they declined an invite to the NIT tournament.
I would
That's
too.
how
That's
pissed off they are.
Now, the only argument that I would make in regards with these other teams, now I understand why they're pissed off. I get it. I would be too. If you want to make the tournament, my thing is win a couple of more extra games. That way you don't put that into the committee's hands.
I agree.
That's the one thing that I will say. I will say that if you want to make that tournament so bad, you shouldn't have laid several eggs, especially on your home court.
Yep. Just like my buddy Adam said on Facebook, he was like, yeah, it ain't like Carolina took someone that's great's place. I mean, they were all mid at best, subpar. So it ain't like they snagged somebody that was actually really great in basketball's place. So, but to an extent, like First Take had a whole segment of them ragging on UNC, talking about they're ranked 306 out of 360 schools, and that's Division 1, 2, and 3. 306 they're ranked on defense. They said anybody and everybody can score. Shannon Sharp was like, yeah, me with plastic hips can go out there and drop threes on them all game. I ain't even got no hips. I can go drop threes on them. Stephen A said, I can go drop threes on them. That's a disgrace. They should not have made this damn tournament.
I'm just reading Williams' comment here in the chat just now. Send Williams and Rogers to the Canadian Football League.
No, I'm going to send Aaron Rodgers to the South Korean Basketball League. He can go play with DJ Burns.
Oh
man, but the tournament starts tonight. The first 4.
Hang on, real quick. Here's a good piece of karma. Send Aaron Rodgers to the Toronto Argonauts.
Oh dear God.
Randy's favorite team in the CFL.
Oh no. Oh dear God.
Oh, but yeah, the tournament begins tonight. The first 4 is tonight. Then tomorrow's the next 2 games.
Yep.
And then fact,
I believe one of the first 4 games is currently underway right now.
I believe you are correct.
I got the score right here. St. Francis, PA is up over Alabama State right now, 42-36, with 18:32 to go in the game.
The first two games are today, and the next two are tomorrow. And then that right there sets up the first round on March the 20th.
Yep.
And then, of course, later on tonight is, of course, the aforementioned UNC Tar Heels against the Aztecs from San Diego State.
Yep. And people have made that argument. Okay, if Virginia Tech, or excuse me, if West Virginia would have made that, if West Virginia would have made the tournament, they're probably going to get beat by San Diego, State. Well, that's a good point. But
Yep.
at the same time, you don't know because in a one game tournament, you lose that game, you're out. That's it. That's it. We really don't know. We really don't know what's going to happen, and that's why the beauty of this tournament, anything can happen. And I do have Duke making it to the Final Four, and I think Duke is going to win the championship.
Yeah, I personally think my two favorites to win this championship. People are going to be surprised, but I think it's Duke and Florida.
I agree,
Florida
100%.
defensively, Coach K had a theory way back in the day. Said if you want to win the championship, you got to have the best defense. That's point blank. That's how you win tournaments. Florida's got the best defense. Duke's got the second best defense. Duke's got the best offense. Florida's got an elite offense. I think that Final Four matchup, they won't meet in the championship game because due to obvious, they're playing on the same side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Same region, but Florida and Duke is going to be a battle for the ages if they make it that far. I got Florida, Duke. I want to say Auburn, but I don't trust them. They've lost 3 games in 4 weeks. Something about me. I just don't trust this Auburn team, man. I honestly give me Tennessee in one of them, in one of the Final Four matches, I guess.
I think Auburn might be the
I think
weakest
St.
number
John's-
one. I think Auburn might be the weakest overall number one seed.
That's another thing to piss off about the seeding. So tell me, how did Auburn get the number 1 overall seed, but Duke got the second number 1 overall seed, and Duke cruised through the tournament without their star player and won the damn conference championship, regular and champions and tournament, and had 1 less loss than Auburn, and beat Auburn head to head.
Narratives.
So that I don't understand. Maybe it's the committee's idea of like, what we don't know what Cooper Flag looks like. I don't want to give them no more overall seed if Cooper Flag ain't playing. But do you?
They've already proven they can win games without Cooper Flag.
Honestly, I wouldn't even play Cooper Flag to the Sweet 16. Duke can cruise through this weekend here. I would give him a whole nother week to rest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Agree.
But I definitely agree with you guys because I've been talking to my dad a lot about this NCAA tournament, and he's brought up some really good points. I mean, he has said that Duke and Florida have been the 2 most consistent teams all year long, and I agree with that 1,000%. 1,000%.
They're
That's
both
why. And that's why I have Florida and Duke, along with Michigan State and Tennessee, in my Final Four this year.
I like that.
And I think it's going to be Florida and Duke for the national championship.
They can't. They're on the same bracket.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Not the same bracket, but the same. When they get to the Final Four, I think they would play each other.
No, they won't
I
because
read that right.
Florida's on one side, Duke's on the other.
Oh, gotcha. I thought it was okay.
I think it's going to be Florida and Duke in the national championship.
Okay, well then if that's the case, that's my championship game because, I got Duke, Florida, Tennessee, and Gonzaga in my Final Four.
I had
Gonzaga and Tennessee, they're in the same region.
Shit. Okay, well that's the case.
St. John's in mine. I think Rick Pitino's done a hell of a job. St. John's.
Well, then if that's the case, then give me Michigan State.
Give me Carolina.
Wow, so for a fourth ass whipping? Okay.
In the words of Shannon Sharp.
Oddly enough, though, I mean, this may come as a surprise to y'all, but I have Florida winning the national championship this year.
Wow.
I have Florida winning it.
Even
because I've seen Florida play. I mean, I saw the game in which they tore Alabama to freaking shreds in the second half of the SEC semifinals. I mean, Florida looked absolutely incredible out there on that court. And there was no doubt in my mind that they are just well coached. They know how to hustle. They know how to make plays on both sides of the ball. They know how to rebound. I mean, I saw several instances in that Alabama Florida game in the SEC tournament in which a Florida player put up a shot, missed it, and there were 3 or 4 Alabama players in the paint, but only one Florida player. But who gets the rebound? That Florida player, because
See, here,
they just out hustle. They hustle like that.
oh, I believe it. I say it's a toss up. Like I would not. I'm not. If I'm a betting man, I'm not putting money on either because both teams got a very good case. But I will say this about Florida. Same with Duke because they haven't seen nobody like Florida. Florida hasn't seen the talent of Duke's level yet, as well as
It's
Duke.
true.
Duke hasn't seen someone like Florida. But Cooper Flag 10 and can do what he won't. If you try to shut Cooper Flag down, we've watched it. Auburn did it, and Auburn was a good case. They've had they come in the game said we're going to go all out at Cooper Flag. My boy from Charlotte, Isaiah Evans, comes in the game and makes it rain threes. If he goes to any other college in the world, he's a starting two guard. He comes off the bench for Duke and he makes it rain. Like he opens the floor, and then Con Knipple, he's so good with the ball in his hands. They don't turn it over much. So it's interesting to see how that matchup would go because Florida does press very well, but Duke handles the press very well. They don't turn it over often. That's why it was kind of baffling that they let or an outlier that Carolina came back because Duke was turning the ball over. They don't do that. That was a like John Shire said. That was just a blah. Like damn, that's not us at all. We
Yeah.
we don't turn the ball over. We win by 20. But Duke and Florida. Also, Duke is probably one of the, if not the biggest team in the NCAA. You got Malik is 7'2". A guy, the what's his name? Number 21 off the bench is 7'1". Like they are huge. Those guys are huge over there. So I'm wondering how that size will affect Florida, as well as Florida's defense affect Duke.
Agree. And
Agree.
also want to change lanes and change gears here to last night and turn it up a notch again. Last night, even though we're not a wrestling show, but we got to talk about this. The opening 30 minutes of Monday Night Raw last night, live from Belgium. Cinema.
Outstanding.
Cinema. John
Outstanding.
Cena comes out to that ring. His music hits and a chorus of boos. Cena gets in the ring, and for nearly 2 minutes straight, the entire crowd was chanting, "Let's go, Cena! Cena sucks!" And what I loved about that crowd last night, the "Let's go, Cena," people, that was making the Cena sucks chants even louder. And Cena's promo last night was masterful.
Yes.
Very well done.
My favorite part was at the beginning when the crowd was singing along to his entrance music, saying "John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks."
And you know what's great? On Netflix, it was saying in parentheses, crowd singing, John Cena
John Cena
sucks.
sucks. I was like, yeah, I said, what in the world? I've never heard that one. That's a new one.
Cena's promo was outstanding. And I loved how he
And
tortured
the
that poor
Cena
little
chance
kid.
really hit.
Yes. The
Netflix,
fuck you.
it took them a few seconds to catch on. It was like, fuck you, Cena. And then after 2 or 3, they were like, you Cena, you Cena. I'm like, damn, now you catch on. After 3 times.
And then what's great is the shut the fuck up chance that they did three separate occasions weren't even bleeped.
No, that's what I'm saying. And then they caught on and bleeped it. Like, oh shit, we gotta bleep it.
Well, then the STFU chants weren't even bleeped at all. They were completely uncensored.
Right. But
like, okay, we're gonna keep this crowd going.
Hang on, real quick. I gotta go. Before we go back to that opening segment on Raw, I gotta bring this up. The one video that I have been laughing about for like the past several days is on SmackDown when Solo Sikoa was cutting that promo and he almost dropped a freaking F-bomb. And Jimmy Uso was in the ring. He was
Jimmy
like,
was clowning
man.
him about it, like, "Oh, you about to say what? You about to say, look, why don't you do us all a favor and and he kind of even Solo started laughing a little bit. You could tell he's, oh shit, my man." Do his whole thing. Fuck. Oh shit. Oh. And
That
Jimmy's
was
like,
great.
wait, what? Say what? What'd you say? What'd you say?
But yes,
That
that
was
opening
hilarious.
segment on Raw. But yes, that opening segment on Raw, outstanding. And within 6 hours of it being posted on YouTube, it already had 1 million views.
And Cody Rhodes' reply to Cena, spot on. Short,
Oh yeah.
straight to the point. Get on, get in, get out. Like in punk rock. 3
Exactly.
chords.
Right there at the end of the segment in which Cody Rhodes looked at Cena and said, "You need to find that John Cena on your shirt because I want to face that John Cena at WrestleMania, not this whiny bitch."
Yep.
I was
And
like,
what I liked about the word bitch being used in this situation, it was done not just to curse, it was done to be effective. The curse
Yes.
was effective. And I loved how Cody was like, "Who the hell are you?" Like this is not the man that
yes.
I've known. This is not the hero that I looked up to. Just everything about this. And you know what also made this entire 30 plus minutes great? Commentary did not say a single word.
No, nope.
Let the crowd, let the performers speak for itself.
And I mean, and
Excellent.
like I said earlier in the show, that crowd in Brussels, Belgium, outstanding.
And I
Absolutely
loved how,
outstanding.
and shout outs to that crowd doing the Ole Cielo Miedo, doing that whole with
Yes.
Penta. That was great.
Hey, but you know what? That damn they booed Cena so much that when Cody's music finally hit, that pop was insane. Like it's
Yes.
pushing Cody as far as he can go. People
Yeah.
sit still. Well, that shit brighten it up.
And then Michael Cole called Cena a prick.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I love this Michael Cole. The shackles are off of him, of Vince McMahon being in his ear. Say it. Say this, damn it. Like now that Michael Cole doesn't have nobody in his ear anymore except for
You
audio
know,
stuff. Oh, it's
it makes
great.
me wonder. It makes me wonder if Vince McMahon watches all these Raws, SmackDowns, the live events, and in his mind he is saying, "This is such good shit."
Hey, but you know what's funny though?
Or is he saying it looks so different without me?
Hey, you know what's funny though, and actually very true. It's funny that this how you know John Cena did his job because everything he said, people have turned into memes like they did Roman Reigns. You remember when Roman was like, "You mean to tell me I work half the time you do, and I make double the money you do?" And that they turned that into a
Mhm.
meme. Talk about when I come to work and people ask me why I only work half a shift, and then they turn John Cena's into a meme. Talk about here's the kids at the grocery store when you go to Walmart. What do we get? What do we get? You get nothing.
You know what's also great about seeing this promo last night? Even though he is a heel, what he said in that promo, he's really not wrong.
No, he's not.
Because
I
what
mean, he
he's
brought. I mean, Cena brought up the fact about him being in a being feels like being in an abusive relationship for the past 25 years. And honestly,
because when he was on top of the WWE, landscape in the professional wrestling business, when he was the definitive number one guy, he was the head honcho, the head company making money man for that company from
oh yeah,
2005 to probably about 2015, 2016. Cena was the guy. And what he said, talking about how no matter what I did, you didn't appreciate it. When I kept winning and winning and winning and winning and winning, you hated it. You hated it. He's not
yes,
wrong.
Yep. It wasn't enough.
and not to mention for years and years and years, John Cena was Vince McMahon's golden goose.
And Cena, think about this too, guys. Cena has been wanting to change roles for the longest time, but Vince never pulled the trigger
Nope.
to turn him bad guy. Now that Vince is no longer with the WWE as chairman and owner of the company, now WWE can do things differently.
I also look at it as a thing of Vince being just fucking money greedy because he feels like turning someone heel like that, his merch sales would fucking decrease or something. But not
And
everybody's greedy like Vince. But I
uh,
thought it funny. Let me transition to another one. I thought it was pretty funny that Well, Rhea Ripley basically pissed Adam Pearce off. She's basically saying, "Hey, if you want to get the
Yes.
title, mate, bring your ass out there, steal the contract, and put your own name on the title." Or on
Oh,
the
there's the triple threat.
he's like, and then I seen somebody like clowning her on Twitter. Who was it? Shayna Baszler was talking about, "Hell, let me go sign my name on the contract. Let's make it a fatal four-way. Give me the contract." I ain't know that's how we do things. Fuck it, let's do it. I'm like, oh dear God, y'all gonna have
Oh.
10 woman of this. Someone said, Maxine Dupree, get your ass out there and go sign the contract. Put you in the match. Why not? What? What?
but I'm telling you, man, that crowd last night, that is up there with that France crowd from back in the spring of last year with Backlash in France. Like that, unbelievable. And the fact that we're being treated to a next couple of weeks, for the last several weeks of March, to WWE going with Raw and SmackDown, to all these different countries and stuff. Like there's going to be shows in England. The Raw next week's going to be emanating from Scotland. Like it's so cool. It is so cool what they're doing. And I'm so excited to see where this Cody and Cena angle goes. And it's gonna be a lot of fun to see where this goes. Gonna be a lot of fun to see where this goes. Now, as far as the NBA is concerned, I know Kevin has thoughts on the NBA because Golden State has looked really good, predominantly, other than that loss last night to Denver. Golden State has played very good basketball since Jimmy Butler has come over from Miami to Golden State. And Golden State predominantly has been rolling. They're 10 games over 500 right now. They're the sixth seed in the Western Conference. If they can keep this hot streak up, nobody's stopping them. Nobody. Nobody's beating them. Because the way Stephen Curry's been playing, the way Draymond Green's been playing, especially the way Jimmy gets buckets, Butler's been playing. Jimmy Butler's been playing some great ball. Great ball. And I think it took, this adversity for Golden State to go through to get to where they want to be right now. Because now that you have a clear number two player in Butler with this team, Curry doesn't have to do all the work by himself. And speaking of Curry, Curry set more milestone records last week. 4,000 made threes.
Yes, he did. Hey,
Unbelievable.
I just say this real quick about the Curry and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has unlocked Steph Curry. You cannot double team him no more because
Mm-hmm.
of the fear of Jimmy Butler getting to the line or getting mismatched, taking it to the hole. You can't do it no more. Jimmy Butler has unlocked that team. Even all Moses Moody has stepped up big time since Jimmy Butler. Brandon Podziemski has played his best ball of the season so far the last month since Jimmy Butler. Draymond Green playing very well. Quentin Post, who I very love, he is a shooter as a big. You try to drive you want, he's gonna hit that corner three all game long. And since Jimmy Butler, Steph has averaged 31 a game. Leading
Mm-hmm.
tied with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for scoring in the NBA in that span because of Jimmy Butler. Because there's no more pressing Steph and doubling Steph and tripling Steph, and because guess what, Butler's gonna make the right play and get an easy bucket. You can't do it no more. So Steph's getting clean looks. And as far as the threes concerned, man, 4,000 threes is insane. That's 12,000 of his points strictly off of threes. That's impressive. But
Very impressive.
what makes me wonder is how many threes Steph would have now if he did like the typical college one and dones. Remind you, Steph stayed 3 years at Davidson. He stayed 3 years, not just one and done. He stayed 2 more years in college. On top of all the injuries for the first 3 years of his career, he didn't really take off the 2014, 2010 to 2013. He spent hurt most of the time. So imagine what he would be if Steph would or if Steph would have started earlier. He would have been at 5,000 threes right now. And I believe he still ends with 5,000 threes.
Yeah.
If he wants to get it, he will get it.
He
Oh
probably will
yeah, he'll
because
get it.
Curry, the way he's playing, he ain't retiring anytime soon. Like Curry's been playing some great ball. Great ball. And it also makes me wonder too, when the NBA playoffs finally does commence next month, who is going to be making that deep playoff run? Because the West right now is deep as it's ever been, as always. Denver's right there in the thick of things. Oklahoma City's right there in the thick of things. They're one of the best young teams in the NBA. You got the Golden State. They can get hot. They've been hot for the last several weeks in the season. I mean, that Western Conference is so hard to call, when it comes to who can make that deep playoff run, because any of the top 6 teams can make a push.
I tell you what, the key for other teams like that is like the Warriors' key is to stay out of the play-in. Steph is old. You don't want him playing in the play-in. Let him
Right. That's what I
six
said on
and
the show a
fifth
couple
seed.
weeks ago. Stay out of the play-in.
Yeah, just stay out of the play-in. Get the 6th or 5th seed, because here's the thing. There are two teams that I think can get upset easily by the Warriors, and that's the two abnormalities in that top tier. No offense to the Rockets or the Grizzlies, their records are good, but they're not beating Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler.
No.
I don't care,
No.
because we know what Jimmy does in the playoffs. He's bound to look like prime Michael Jordan. We know what Steph does. We know what he's going to do. The Grizzlies are young. Like the Rockets are young. They ain't got their feet wet. Steph and them's experience is gonna run circles around them. So there are certain matchups. Like if you're the Grizzlies, if the Warriors get out of the play-in, if you're the Grizzlies or the Rockets, you want to beg to get that number 2 seed so you can play the number 7 seed. You don't want to fuck around and get the 3 seed and have to play the 6 or the 4 and have to play the 5 and Golden State be one of the 6 or the 5, because then you're shit out of luck. And honestly, even if you get the 7th or the 2 seed and play the 7 seed, the damn Minnesota Timberwolves are as hot as the Warriors. They're 12-2 also in their last 14. So I mean, if you're going to play a team that was just in the Western Conference Finals last year with Anthony Edwards heating up, good luck. Memphis or Houston, the team you really want to face, honestly, is probably Dallas. I don't know how they're still.
Oh, God, Dallas is terrible.
Oh, God.
I would want to play Dallas if I wanted.
And who would have thought? And we'll eat a lot of crow for this, because we were very critical, of this trade when it went down. What the hell is Dallas thinking? They're trading away Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers, but give credit where the devil is due. Luka and LeBron and the Lakers have played a hell of a lot better than we could have imagined them to be playing since that trade went down the week of the Super Bowl. The Lakers have been playing better ball. But at the same time, I do not trust LeBron and the Lakers at a big spot when the playoffs come around.
Yeah, and my main reason for not trusting them is kind of the same for the Warriors. Like, there's no size.
Nope.
I got worried about when they play the Thunder. The Thunder's one of the biggest teams and most physical teams in the league. Like, they're going to punish them. But Shannon Sharp happened to come out with his Laker bias today, and he spit another bar for us. You know that little thing where he said, he even said it last week. He said, KFC, he said OKC, KFC, or UFC, Lakers in 5. He had another one today. He said, and I quote, he said, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Boost Mobile Bundle, or the WWE Royal Rumble, Lakers in 5. I said, oh, here you go. Here he goes. So when the Lakers get swept by the Thunder, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's my favorite to come out of the West, to be honest. I think it's the Thunder and everybody else. It's wide open.
What about the Eastern Conference?
Cleveland and Boston. I can't take the Knicks serious. I cannot take the Knicks serious. They can't beat nobody good.
Agree.
Can't take nobody serious. It's
The
Boston
Celtics a couple weeks ago beat the living shit out of the Knicks.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Warriors beat the Knicks twice. They're 2-0 Knicks. And then the Knicks, I believe they read a stat that the Knicks have won 1 game against the Thunder, the Cavs, and the Celtics combined. That's pitiful. That is pitiful. I don't know. I just don't trust the Knicks. I don't trust Thibodeau. He's going to get his players hurt. And at the end of the day, it's Cleveland and Boston. Can Boston keep playing the way they're supposed to play, or can Cleveland turn up? Because Cleveland looks great.
Cleveland looks
And gotta give Cleveland where credit is due. Cleveland rebuilded. They rebuilt the entire fragment of that team into where they are right now.
Yep, they did it
through drafting, through signings, you name it. They have done it.
Then it helps them getting Kenny Atkinson in there instead of Bickerstaff, who's actually working.
Yes,
hey, look who decided to join us tonight. What's going on, Ez?
What is going on, everybody?
What's up, man?
Ah,
It's
Just
been a
got
hell
back.
of a lot of fun here tonight.
Yes, are you doing what list are you doing right now?
Well, we haven't done our list yet. We're doing the top five. We're doing our five on five offense defense.
Oh, I have my list already in my hand.
Uh-huh.
still need to work on my list.
Well, I'll tell you mine and real quick. How about that?
Go ahead.
All right, this is my offense. As quarterback, you have Cody Rhodes. Obviously, the leader of the team. Obviously, gives orders.
Yep.
At running back, Braun Breaker.
Ooh.
Oh.
He played running back in college. At tight end, I have Ethan Page. Tall, lengthy guy, big guy who's still athletic, who can get out there. And then my wide receivers, it's gonna be kind of a mismatch, but Montez Ford and Shelton Benjamin.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
My defense at cornerback, Claudio Castagnoli. Tall, lengthy guy who can get out on the edge, super fast. As some of my defensive linemen, I have, listen to this list: Jeff Cobb, Tongaloa,
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
and Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And
Oh, my gosh.
as my main linebacker, Jacob Fatu.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Okay.
So what are
Okay.
you doing?
So we're doing top five. We're picking players on offense and defense
Like
for
if
our.
it was a start, like Kevin, if you had a starting five on each side, offense and defense, if you were to pick, like I picked for mine, I picked a two wide receiver, one tight end, one running
Okay.
back, and a quarterback. For the
Oh,
off-
that'd be okay. Okay.
for
I
the
could do-
defense, you could pick any combinations. I just went with 3 defensive linemen, one main linebacker, and a cornerback.
Okay. Oh, that okay. I can get with that.
And
Okay.
it
Yeah.
could be from any promotion. It could be WWE, AEW, New Japan, GCW, Ring of Honor. It could be from any promotion around any promotion right now. So
Can we use the same players or like?
Yes, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can all have the same players on our team.
yeah. Like if one person has Jacob Fatu on their list and another person does, it doesn't matter. You could pick if everybody in the room has Jacob Fatu on a list, and then that's fine as long as you pick your 5 that you want on offense and defense.
Okay. 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 So
My
okay,
other pick- my other
I'm
pick-
about to come up to this with the top of my head. So
But like my other pick for quarterback was going to be Roman, but
I got one. I got Cody at quarterback. Obviously, he's
okay.
the guy. He's the leader. I got Braun Breaker, like you said, at running back, and this is where I'm gonna change up. I'm going Jacob Fatu at tight end. Athletic as hell. He can get out in space, jump over people, run through people. Yeah, that's my tight end. My 2 receivers, man, that's gonna be tough. I'm going AJ Styles. The way he caught that damn shirt on Raw that I went to, he's gonna be.
I didn't even think about that.
He's gonna
Great
be my slot
call.
receiver.
Yeah, he did play football in college.
Yep, I'm going AJ Styles. I believe the other receiver. Oh man, that's tough. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna go slot receiver because he's quick. I'm going Rey Mysterio in the slot.
Okay.
Ooh,
AJ
okay.
Oh,
and
okay.
Ray in the slot. I
Hey.
ain't gonna have a Z receiver.
By the way, my other pick for running back was going to be Rhino.
I like
Okay.
that one too.
Okay.
So here's my defense. It's gonna be good. My defensive tackle gonna be Braun Strowman. He runs
Okay.
some motherfuckers. He just gonna tear it up. He gonna tear up your line.
Okay.
I got 2 linebackers. One's gonna be LA Knight because he's just gonna sit there and talk shit to y'all game. He's gonna make a tackle and talk shit to
Tackle.
you.
Yeah.
So he's going to be the Richard
Yeah.
Sherman of the group.
Yes, he's gonna be talking shit. My other linebacker gonna be Roman. He's gonna blitz up the middle and just straight hit you with a spear. I could have put him at DN, but I'm gonna put him at linebacker. My other, my corner gonna be Jey Uso because when I think of cornerbacks, you got to have swag out there. So Jey Uso gonna be out there yeeting and talking shit. He gonna be hitting the receivers and going yeet right to the receiver at the line, pressing them up.
You can get a
He's gonna be
pick.
doing
Yeet.
dance moves on them, and so that's gonna be him. Last one is kind of a toss up, man. I was thinking safety or DN, but if I'm gonna go DN, but I would say if I was to go safety, I would go with Tomatonga because he's gonna tackle somebody and go yeah every time he hits somebody or breaks something. But I'm gonna go DN. I'm gonna go Solo Sokoa. He's gonna be my DN. He's gonna come
Okay.
up and fight the quarterback.
Okay.
Now look, I got one. My offensive coordinator gonna be Jimmy Uso because he always makes the audibles. He calls the plays like he say. My defensive coordinator gonna be CM Punk because at the press conference he's gonna talk shit and he's gonna drop pipe bombs at the press conference.
And eat fucking muffins.
Playoffs? Are you fucking kidding me? Playoffs? Not with them two bald frauds in charge of the league. Playoffs? Defense can't catch a break. Playoffs? Them two bald frauds won't let it happen. Well, yeah, that's my 5.
Could you imagine if CM Punk was the owner of the Cowboys? He could say, "These guys could manage a fucking target."
All right, I think I got my
He'll look at
list
Jerry
put
Jones.
together.
Jerry Jones, you old fraud. You
All right, but
cheap old
I think I
fraud.
got my list put together.
Okay.
All right, so my quarterback, I of course got to go with John Cena because he has been the unquestioned leader of WWE for over 2 decades.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
My running back, I went a little bit of a stretch here. I went John Moxley at running back. I think John Moxley has what it takes because of what he's done in AEW ever since he dropped the whole Dean Ambrose gimmick and went to AEW. I feel like he's done a lot for AEW, and I feel like that he has that muscle and that drive to bust a big run when he needs to.
Well, the problem is with John is that he's going to keep missing. He's going to keep missing turns there because he's going to keep bleeding.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
True.
But my first wide receiver, I have AJ Styles.
Okay.
Okay.
I went with a surprise here for my other wide receiver, but it's not because of the fact that he's not a playmaker, because he very well could be, but he also brings a little bit of that gimmick, like that flashy gimmick out in him.
Mhm.
I went with the Miz.
Ooh.
That's a nice pick.
Hey,
I
Madonna.
went with the Miz.
I like it. I like it.
And for my tight end, I did have Brock Lesnar, but I'm switching that out with Stone Cold.
Mm. Okay.
Hey, that was a. Hey, he would be like, hey, that was a forced fumble. What? Hey, you were 15 yards down the field.
What?
What?
That was a block in the back illegally. What?
Hi, for my linebacker, I went with the guy who I think is one of the hardest hitters right now in WWE. For my linebacker, I chose Braun Breaker
Mm.
You gonna kill
because
somebody.
he will literally drop your ass with that dreadful spear.
Oh, by the way, my other cornerback, would have been Gabe Kidd.
Nice.
Because he would
Nice.
shit talk you and be like, fuck you motherfuckers, you all a bunch of pussies. I fucked your mother last night. I'm a madman. Look at me.
How about my 2 DNs? I have the OTC Roman Reigns along with the Street Fighter Solo Sokoa.
There you go. Street champ, baby.
For my defensive tackle, I went with Braun Strowman because he'll just run you over. And for my corner, I went with a little bit of a surprise here. Allow me to cue it. Say his name and
Yeah.
he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yes.
Yeah, they
I
gonna
went
say
with
his
Joe
name when the
Hendry as
ball's
my
in the air.
quarterback.
They gonna say his name when the ball's in the air and he gets the interception because he appears. Picked
gonna-
off.
He's gonna appear, grab the ball, run it back, and go.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
that's my
I didn't know
list.
I didn't know we can use pastime wrestlers. With that being said, I want to change my DN out. Instead of Solo Sokoa, I'm going with the DN originated from the University of Miami. I'm going with the High Chief, The Rock. That's my DN.
Okay.
The final boss.
The final boss. Going with the High Chief and the Tribal Chief on the same defense.
Yeah.
Roman spears him and he drops a people elbow on him and gets a 15-yard penalty like he did a coach back when he did his coach that he said, and this is your life. Made The Rock do sprints.
Okay.
Yeah. If I will say that if I would have picked another quarterback, I definitely would have picked CM Punk.
Okay.
For me, my quarterback, Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
Running back, the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay.
See, I would have had Will. For me, I would have had Will a wide receiver myself because of his speed. It was his speed and his ability to get out. That's just me, though. I respect.
But here's also another thing too. But see, here's the difference between Will at running back. He can also flex as a wide receiver.
Good point.
My wide receivers are AJ Styles and MJF.
Really? MJF?
MJF.
Okay.
Kind of tall, kind of guy. He's about 5'10", 5'11". Something like that.
Yeah. He's not a super tall guy.
Yeah. My tight end, because he was an athlete. Now, he didn't play football, but obviously this is a fantasy team. My tight end, The Undertaker.
Ooh.
For defense,
he
did play basketball.
Yeah, but that also helps with his leaping ability as a tight end.
Mm-hmm. Defense, I have Braun Breaker, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Jacob Fatu, and Roman Reigns.
That's a heavy lineup.
Uh-huh.
Now you see, I went with Jeff Cobb because Cobb, as either an outside or inside linebacker, he has girth, he has the width in his shoulders, he's got the agility, and he's got another thing, which is power. That man is like a brick fucking house. You won't be able to move Jeff Cobb.
Yeah.
He could also be an offensive lineman too because of that reason. Whether he's a linebacker or an offensive lineman, Jeff Cobb could go either way because of his. You're not moving 350 pounds.
No. Now, if I would have had a second defensive end or tackle, I would have gone with Strowman. This is how big he is.
Hey, yeah, me. If I would have had a second defensive tackle, I'm going with Rikishi. Imagine Strowman runs through the quarterback and he gives him a stink face. If we had to pick an offensive line, though, well, I'm going with the Big Show, Yokozuna, Bronson Reed. I'm going to have the biggest offensive line in the NFL. And you know what we're going to do with Cody Rhodes? We're going to do the tush push every play. 10 yards a game. All right, tush push on.
You want to go that route? You know what? You know who would be my cornerback actually to chase down the quarterback? Goldberg.
Oh
shit!
Snap!
Goldberg's got speed and power. So
I forgot about Goldberg. Yeah, because Goldberg was a football player too.
Yep.
Yes, he was.
Former Atlanta Falcon.
Well, with that being said, if I had to pick a defensive coordinator, it ain't going to be CM Punk. It's really going to be Paul Heyman. I can hear him now on the way to the field. Ladies and gentlemen. On the way to the field.
Actually, Goldberg, I'd put him on defense. I would keep him on defense. He would be what he was as a player, and that would be a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
You know another guy nobody mentioned? I'm surprised nobody did.
Backup defensive tackle for sure.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned oh my God, Corbin. because he played
Oh
football.
yeah,
yeah.
Baron Corbin. Yeah,
Kansas City Chief. That's right.
Yup.
Okay.
that's right.
Okay, listen. If we're talking about in gimmick, you know who I do not want on my team?
Who?
R-Truth, because he's going to run the ball to the wrong end zone. I thought it was on your team. I thought it was on your team. He
My
gonna like
bad,
to tag
dog.
in the wrong
Hey,
person. He's
Wait a
gonna run the
minute,
ball
Kevin.
to
See,
the wrong
basically,
end
what
zone.
you're saying, he would be the guy that would take the ball and run it into the other end zone for a safety, and hijacker would be happy.
Yes, he would get a safety.
No. What he would do is he would kick it down the field and then kick it right next to the goalpost and think it's a soccer game.
That's
Hey.
my kicker is R-Truth. That would be my
Oh,
kicker.
here we. Oh, hey. I'll let you know. You know who I would pick? You know who I would pick as a cheerleader?
Oh no.
Dominic Mysterio.
I was thinking I was gonna have the Spirit Squad with Dominic Mysterio.
Spirit Squad. There you go.
Dom and the Spirit Squad.
Okay, so my friend Sarah here in the chat says quarterback Dolph Ziggler, linebacker AJ Styles, defense Kane, offense John Moxley, tight end Randy Orton.
That's
Oh,
good.
Randy
Think about
Orton. How
that.
can we forget about him?
Actually, let me that brings me into my second thought. Randy Orton would be my punter.
Aha!
He would be my punter.
I like that.
He did say he was going to be the best. He was going to pass Pat McAfee as the best punter in WWE. So
He's not
Oh,
wrong.
that's true.
he's not wrong. That's going to be my
That
punter.
is true.
Good
Him and
call.
Pat McAfee would have a punting competition. Winner gets the job.
Yes.
that would be good.
Randy Orton would be like, just put KO's head for me to punt. You can punt the football.
Now, if I had a second running back, Darby Allin.
Okay, I can see that.
Can we just pair George Kittle and Penta up right now as we speak, please?
Yes, please. Take my money.
Yes, please.
To just sabotage the other teams, I would call DX. I would get them to do some shit. Tear
Oh
down their
yeah.
bus, go spray paint their bus, go flatten their tires, do something. Just keep them out of the game.
Yeah, put roosters in their locker room.
Go put roosters and say we like cock.
The other team has a confession to make. What is that you speak of, Sean? They love cocks.
Wait. I thought it was I love dicks.
That's what it was in the segment. Yeah.
In this segment, if anybody
whenever
gets
he
between
delivered
me and my dick.
But
No,
whenever
actually-
Mr. McMahon, though, it was always, it's a cock.
Yeah.
You love cocks.
No, DX would be my tailgaters. They'll be outside roasting weenies on the grill. One of them have long hot dogs and others have little smokies.
Hey, Sean, is that Mr. Fuji? Oh, I love Mr. Fuji. There was no Mr. Fuji. Let's see.
Oh.
Let's see. If you want to talk about, do you want to talk about like defensive players? Dude, Bobby Lashley.
Dude,
Oh
I
yeah.
almost had him on my team. Almost. And I was like, man, it's so tough.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley definitely is a good pick. Yeah, like I said, for a tight end, if you want to, I mean, if you want like a tall, lengthy guy for your tight end, kind of like almost like a Cole Kmet or somebody like that who's got height to him. That's why I picked Claudio, because not only is he fast, he's strong, and he's also got great dexterity. So he would.
Yeah.
The only problem is though, when he goes to grab the ball, as soon as he gets near somebody, he's going to hit him with a European uppercut.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
If y'all would ask me to get me like a Draymond Green type player, just someone to come in and talk shit and get under the other team's skin, I'm getting Logan Paul on my team.
Oh
He's
hell.
gonna have the whole team after him.
Hell no.
He's gonna have the whole team wanting to kill him. No, but if I needed a secondary running back though, I would pick Rob Van Dam. But I'm scared he's gonna fail a drug test with weed, so he would be ineligible to play. Unfortunately,
Dude, another great defensive player for me, cornerback, whatever, or he could be a wide receiver or tight end, would be Trick Williams.
that was
Oh
good.
yeah.
Trick, yep, you could be Trick. You I was gonna say another great one. The only problem is this guy would probably tie everybody up in the submissions while he goes for while he tries to defend the ball. That would be Zack Sabre Jr.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Imagine getting a personal foul for putting somebody in an octopus hold,
Damn.
or putting him into like a stretch where he's got like both of their arms bent back, butterfly style.
Yeah.
'Cause-
If I had like a third, like a third down running back, I would have Stone Cold because Stone Cold would actually play running back.
yeah, and then after the game is over, he'll supply the beer.
Yep.
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 That would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun.
You know, if I were to have a backup cornerback, I just haven't thought about this. How about Matt Cardona?
Sure.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Great pick, Matt Cardona. Yeah, definitely.
Could you imagine if Nick Gage was on somebody's team?
Oh God.
The only problem is they'd have to search him for his pizza cutter before he makes it onto the field.
Yes.
You know,
I'm the
who goes-
king of this football shit.
I'm gonna carve one of these motherfuckers.
just give me Otis as another offensive lineman. You know, he could be my
Oh
fullback.
God.
Oh
He could be my
Lord.
fullback.
Dude,
Oh Lord.
Dude, imagine if he scores a touchdown, he does the caterpillar in the end zone.
Great celebration.
That's what I was thinking of too with celebrations. Like Jey Uso would do the yeet. Freaking what's his name would probably do the Matt Cardona would probably do his pose, the L with the whatever. Dude, if we could have another person I put on my team would be Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only problem with my team is when Roman Reigns and LA Knight's trying to make tackles, LA Knight will talk shit to Roman Reigns, talking about, see, I don't need a oofalapa to have to get to the quarterback.
You see, I'm putting all these players in factory reset now. The only problem is Roman would be like, all right, you guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go, all right, we're going to execute play 468. And after we're done, you will acknowledge me.
No, he's going to get mad like, this is my stadium. This is my team. This is my arena. This is my crowd. This is my goalpost. And my referee.
Okay, here's a good question. Who would be the head coaches?
Head coach for me, if you want to talk about brains of the operation, or if you want to talk about a guy who's going to uplift these guys and make sure my head coach would be 252 pounds of pure motivation, the answer to all life's problems. He would be Joe Hendry.
Okay.
My offensive coordinator would be since you talk about a guy who likes to use offense, my offensive coordinator would be CM Punk.
Yeah.
And because he's offensive on the offensive.
Hey, I just heard you say
let's
something about
see,
being offensive. Like you're about to say Vince McMahon.
Shit.
You're offensive.
And then
Let's see. For
defensive
my
coordinator-
head coach, I would pick somebody that really brings that energy whenever he comes out on Monday Night Raw. And you guys might know him.
Austin Theory.
He's a visionary. He's a revolutionary. He's Seth freaking Rollins.
Imagine
Okay.
coming out with those gaudy ass outfits for that.
Yeah.
He's blazing with like the team's gear, but he's freaking like looking like a fucking oven mitt again.
I can see the other coaches going, where the hell did you get that outfit from?
For
Dude,
my offensive
You wear that great
coordinator,
outfit again, he could be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
for my offensive coordinator, I would probably say Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
And
Okay.
here is a surprise that nobody has thought of until just now, at least for me. But my defensive coordinator, I would pick Samoa Joe.
Dude, I almost had him
Yo.
on my team. Almost
Yo,
did.
yes.
Yeah, I would pick Samoa Joe for my defensive coordinator.
That's a hell of a pick. I'd probably pick Joe too.
Same.
But then again, I would say that another guy I think would be the perfect pick for a defensive coordinator because he's a bigger guy. He knows how to play that. He knows how to work that style, but also have the athleticism to take to also showcase it, to the teammates. I think. Oh, that's a tough one. That would probably be, I would say, if you really want to give that to somebody. Damn. I had it for a second, and then it.
My friend Sarah says here in the chat, her head coach will be Booker T.
Speaking of that, by the way, Booker T is with Vic Joseph alone on commentary, Steven.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Trust me, it's already been annoying. I muted it after the first minute. I was watching it on the way home.
right.
But off defensive coordinator, I'd probably give that to. You know what? I'm going to give that to Joe.
Let's see. My head coach would be Triple H.
There you go.
Okay.
Here's your leader.
There you go.
Offensive coordinator. Probably would say Punk. Defensive coordinator.
Oh, I'm changing my defensive coordinator.
Who?
To be different. Obafemi.
Oh!
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I'm calling an audible. My defensive coordinator, because he has the 3 eyes, Kurt Angle.
Kurt.
Okay.
Anybody want a glass of milk?
Ah,
Go have a
it's
celebratory glass of
true.
milk, guys. It's
It's
true.
damn
Jimmy crack
true.
corn and I don't care.
Dude. Oh my God.
All right, look, check this out. My defensive coordinator, I got Paul Heyman. My offensive coordinators, I got an understudy. I got Kurt Angle and his understudy, Chad Gable, as the offensive coordinator.
I know where you're going with that.
Look, my
Uh-huh.
head coach is going to give you some good motivations because he's going to talk shit to his own team. My head
Now,
coach
who
is
was-
going to be John Cena. Get this, listen, hear me out. They're going to be losing 14-0 at halftime. I can hear it now. He's going in the locker room. We're down 14-0. What do we get? You get absolutely nothing. You get what you earn. Nothing. I can hear him now.
I love how that has become a meme now. It is hilarious.
What do we get when the kids go to Walmart and ask for a toy? What do we get? What do we get? Nothing.
No more.
Dude. Now who would be your commentators for the games?
Pat McAfee.
No. Here's mine. Pat McAfee, and because he commentated XFL, Jesse the Body
Yes.
Ventura.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My commentators would be Pat McAfee and Jim Ross. I can hear it now. By God, Braun Breaker just about broke him in half.
Holy shit!
And then when somebody make a mistake or turn the ball, oh, that son of a bitch.
Or how about when Braun tackles somebody? That is one big SOB.
Okay. Oh God, it's so tough. Okay.
Oh man.
I know who it won't be. Mike Adamle and Adnan Virk.
Oh God.
And that was a tackle by Jeff Hardy.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, it would not be Adnan Virk. It would be terrible. Wow, they're going to hit a bigger field.
You know, if I were to pick my 2 commentators, I of course would obviously say Pat McAfee for sure. But for my second commentator, I think I'm actually going to pick somebody that is not afraid to say what he needs, or not afraid to say what's on his mind, especially when he was a wrestler.
Who?
I would say my other commentator would be the man who says, "I'm afraid I got some bad news."
Okay.
Way Barrett.
Okay.
You want to hear my spot on Wade Barrett impression?
Sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you all aware, tonight we got some great football for you all. But I'm afraid I've got some bad news. You see, this game, it's not going to be televised in your area. You are going to have to watch a free stream online or pay the extra money. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Real quick here in the chat. Ooh.
Oh.
So Sarah has for her offensive coordinator, she's got the Miz.
Okay. You know, I just now having to think about this just now. You know, you have to incorporate this guy somewhere, either on the field or on the sidelines. And my personal opinion, I would make this guy my assistant head coach, Bray Wyatt.
Oh, also to add here in the comment, she's got for her defensive coordinator, Evan Bourne. Commentator,
Okay, I can see that.
she's got Mick Foley.
Oh God. Have a
Okay.
nice day.
Okay, so for my commentators, play by play, I got Joey Styles.
There you
Okay.
go.
I got Joey Styles, and for my color commentary, oh man, I probably would go with the body, Jesse Ventura, just because Jesse, called the XFL and he has experience calling football, and that would be a very interesting pairing. Because now, if I had to substitute, for another commentator, I would say Pat McAfee and Joey Styles. Just those two guys would be insane. But definitely
Man,
Joey's my play-by-play.
Absolutely.
speaking of which, and I know this is still far off away, but with John Cena scheduled to make an appearance on Saturday Night Main Event on May 25th, I wonder what Jesse Ventura would have to say about this whole heel Cena.
This is something I have been waiting for a long time. You see, heel Cena is what the fans want, and this is something I have been waiting to see from Cena for quite a long time. He's doing one hell of a job so far. Let's see how he does going forward against Cody Rhodes, who's the ultimate baby face.
Oh man. This has turned into a really fun segment on the show tonight. Like this was a lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah, it has.
Well, fellas, I'm about to hop off here and get the little girl laid down for bed.
All right, man.
All right, man. Great job, man.
Yes, sir. Good to hear from y'all.
Will
Yep.
do, buddy.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, later.
But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
I like that.
That was a lot of fun. Lot of fun. Next week is our top 5 games of the year, or from this past year.
Yep. Should be another great topic-driven show. Can't wait for that.
I love that, man.
Yeah,
That was a
well,
nice,
I've already
that was
got
a nice
my list
idea.
prepared.
I pretty much do as well. We'll do that next week. As man, this was a lot of fun doing a fantasy football team in the style of wrestling. Like that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun coming up with all these different scenarios and different players who would do these different things. I thought I'm glad I came up with this idea, and I'm glad you guys agreed to it because it turned out to be something extremely fun. I'm glad I was able to make it on to be able to participate because I was not sure if I was going to be back in time or not for the show. I didn't know all 4 of us were going to be on tonight. All 4 of us in some form or fashion were going to be on tonight. So,
And the fact that it turned into that, it was fantastic, and it was so off the cuff, very well done. Because, we didn't know that Caleb was going to be on. He just poofed popped on. Like it was.
Yeah, he literally just poof.
Nice surprise. Very nice surprise. What a fantastic show tonight.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
And I think that pretty much does it for me. I think we're done for the night.
Absolutely. I'll give my final thoughts real quick. Obviously, it wasn't on for long, but it was great to do this here this week, of course. I'll be back in the host chair next week. Definitely for the top 5 games of this past season. Quick little update. There will be some Too Sweet cosplay news coming in the next week. So keep an eye on our social medias. We're finalizing some details. And once we do, we'll be able to share it with you guys. But obviously, don't forget our panel coming up, our wrestling discussion panel. Going to be at McCormick Place during C2E2 weekend. That'll be April 13th on Sunday, the Sunday before WrestleMania. 3 to 3:45, room S401D, upstairs in McCormick Place. You get your tickets at c2e2.com. 3-day passes, I believe, are sold out or close to it. Only a few left. And then we have single day tickets and kids tickets available at c2e2.com as well. Also, real quick, want to say it was fun being on the Nation's Corner this past week. If you haven't watched it,
Great job, by the way. Great show.
thank you. We covered a lot of ground on that show. Of course, WWE, AEW, and we even gotten some New Japan news with the New Japan Cup. And a quick update: the finals are this week. The finals will be Shota Umino, who's taken on a whole new look, shaved his head, and has done a whole new character. He will be taking on the Rebel himself, Mr. David Finlay, the leader of the Bullet Club War Dogs. And it's going to be a great matchup. Winner gets an IWGP Championship shot at Sakura Genesis in April. If you have New Japan World, watch it. It's going to be fun. And of course, some big announcement announced for the WWE ID program, and that is that they will be hosting a tournament to crown the first ever WWE ID champion. And it will take place at 2 different locations during WrestleMania weekend. On Wednesday, February 16th, Game Changer Wrestling will be hosting some first round matches for the WWE ID. And on the 18th, which is Friday, they will be Future Stars of Wrestling in Vegas will be hosting an event as well for the WWE ID Championship Tournament. So definitely, if you're going to be in Vegas, check those shows out. And then finally, Future Stars of Wrestling Vegas, I want to plug this is for a great cause. If you guys don't know, wrestler Chris Bay, who's wrestled for TNA and many other companies, he back in October suffered a freak accident, a broken neck, and he's been able to walk again after being paralyzed for a little while. And this event is an event for Chris Bay. It's going to feature a lot of great talent from NWA, AEW, and WWE, featuring Karrion Kross, whose career began and was grown in FSW Vegas. He'll be returning in a big marquee matchup as well, taking on Hammerstone. So that's going to be one hell of a match, and it's all for a great cause. All proceeds are going to go to Chris Bay to help him out while he's still out of work. So, and don't forget to buy Chris Bay's merch as well, because all proceeds go to help him out as well as he continues his recovery and hopefully return to the ring. So
he's a great guy, great wrestler, but an even better human being.
Absolutely. And to see him walk a couple weeks ago for the first time since that accident was very emotional. So check it out if you guys can. And thank you guys for, of course, taking the reins while I was out with family, having a nice family dinner and just kind of relaxing, enjoying ourselves. But I'll be back next week in the host chair, and we'll be rocking and rolling once again. Joey, take it from here.
Well, first off, I do want to bring something that y'all talked about last week. But before I get into that, I wanted to point out that our first matchup in the March Madness tournament is now history, with Alabama State getting a game-winning layup with 0.7 seconds to go to beat St. Francis, PA, 70-68.
Whoa! So we've already got a game-winning shot on the first day of the tournament.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And the one thing that I want to bring up that you guys talked about briefly about last week is me, of course, being the baseball guru. Y'all talked about um Yankees ace Garrett Cole having to have Tommy John surgery.
Yep.
Um, that is a heartbreaking loss for the Yankees, and I do think they're going to struggle without him in the rotation. But this now gives a pitcher that just signed with the New York Yankees, even though I hate to see him in the pinstripes, a chance to really make his place in the or take his spot in the rotation. And that, of course, is former Atlanta Brave Max Fried. I really think he has a chance to become the New York's ace this season, and he may very well do so. But yeah, as far as my final thoughts are concerned, it was great being back in the co-host chair this week. Having after being out last week. Um, but yeah, the whole WWE fantasy football thing or wrestler fantasy football thing, that was great. That was great. We really need to do that again sometime and have Hijacker come on here and give us his picks for
And
sure.
maybe this time we can kind of orchestrate like a full,
Oh yeah,
offensive
like a
line.
full lineup.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
That would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, March Madness is upon us. The best tournament, my most favorite sports tournament in a calendar year. I just love March Madness and the fact that it is finally upon us. Boy, I'm going to be watching some games come Thursday and Friday. You better believe that.
Yep.
But yeah, great show with you guys. It was great having all four of us on the show in some form of capacity. Love the comments that we had during the show from William Gyron and of course your friend Sarah Stephen. Um, but yeah, it was just an all around great show, and I'm looking forward to the top 5 NFL games next week. But until then, peace out.
Great job with you guys here tonight. Great having the four-headed monster on here in some way or another tonight. Fantastic show. Great idea by you guys are bringing the idea of doing a fantasy style football team, 5 on offense, 5 on defense. We could have done this a full team, offensive line, defensive, but just spare the moment, off the top of our heads. This was a lot of fun, coming up with this in the last couple of days, and just looking forward to doing this again, as a kind of a recurring theme, down the line. Maybe there's some changes with our picks, down the line. But great show with you guys here tonight, talking a little bit of everything: NFL, NBA, WWE, baseball, the basketball tournament with NCAA kicking off tonight, and round number 1 getting underway this Thursday. The third, and fourth games are tomorrow on the 19th. Round number 1 begins this Thursday on the 20th. And also round number 1, continues on March the 21st, and it just continues to get crazier and crazier from there. Because mark my words, brackets will be busted, and it will continue to happen as this crazy tournament goes on. And looking forward to coming on with you guys here next week as we give our top 5 games of the past NFL season in 2024-25 throughout all the mediocrity and bad games. There were some great games that took place also as well. Games that went down as instant classics in some shape or form this past season. There were some great games and some big time moments that were made this year. And looking forward to giving our picks next week and also continuing our NFL coverage of the offseason as we continue to truck along, and we're getting close to the month of April in a couple weeks. And March Madness will continue tonight, the rest of the game tonight with San Diego State facing North Carolina, into tomorrow with the third and fourth game, into all of round 1, and so on and so forth. With that being said, you can also follow us on Twitter or X at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and where we are live on most Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific at YouTube.com/Nation Sports Show. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And also, don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook at Nation's Corner, and where the guys and gal are mostly live on Saturday nights, where Saturday night is all right for fighting with a little bit of wrestling talk at youtube.com/The Nation's Corner. If you are a fan of professional wrestling, check it out. It was a great show this past week with Deb and Neil and you, Ezra. Great show by you guys this past Saturday. And it's going to be crazy to see what happens with the rest of this week in wrestling. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of discussions on this, what happened last night in Belgium, because that was one of the greatest crowds in WWE history. And the fact that it was the first televised Raw as it happened live internationally. It's insane. With the power of new technology, with the power of Netflix, you can do whatever you want. And with that being said, great job everybody involved tonight. With that being said, thank you to my friend Sarah being here in the chat. Thank you to William Guyer for being in the chat. Randy, if you watch this on demand, thank you very much too, sir. To your kitty cat Sprocket, thank you very much as well, sir. So with that being said, for K-Rock, Kevin Rory, for JT, Joey Thornton, Ezra Vickery, I have been your host for this evening, Stephen Wyand, and we are out of here. Until next time, next week, same time, same YouTube, by God channel. Our Nation Sports Show will be back next week as we continue our coverage of the NFL offseason. And we will also be bringing you, like we have talked about, our top 5 games of the 2024 NFL regular season. Hell, maybe even the playoffs. Who the hell knows what we're going to pick? But you have to tune in next week to figure out what our list is going to be. And with that being said, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have fun making memories with the ones that you love around you. Be good to one another. Be good to yourselves. If you see a stranger, be helpful. Be kind. Do good deeds. And maybe good deeds and good karma will come back to you. Enjoy the rest of the wrestling. Enjoy the rest of the sports and whatever the hell you get into. But whatever you do, don't do nothing illegal. And with that being said, we are out of here. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. And upcoming weekend. Peace.
Turn me up.